Okay, let's begin in the cat pose. Make your way onto your hands and your knees. So that your knees are directly beneath your hips and that your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders. Breathing through your nose. On your inhale, round your back. On your exhale, arch your back. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. On your own. Begin your movements with the tailbone and then allow it to work its way up the spine. Rounding the back and arching the back. When you arch the back, there's no need to lift the head too high. Keep your gaze straight down. But when you round, the head drops last. And after your next round, release the movement. Tuck your toes and push back to lift your knees up into your armpits. Hands out in front of you, straight out from the shoulders. And then let your chest come forward as you gaze between your hands, keeping your chin tucked. Try to open your chest here. Breathe in and out of your nose. Staying there. Showing you a different perspective. Then we're going to take a lateral to the left, or to the right, excuse me. Walk your hands over to the right. And continue to let your chest come forward. One more complete breath in the nose and out of the nose. Slowly walk over to the left. No need to go too far. And let the chest come forward. Trying to arch the back and lift the front of the chest up and out of the lower back. Breathing through your nose. Notice your breath. Slowly walk the hands back to center. Put the knees down. Take a child's pose. Let's rest. Put the knees out to the sides. Sit the hips back to your heels. And rest your forehead on the floor. one vertebrae at a time, round your back to sit up on your heels. Tuck the toes underneath. Bring the knees back into a hip width distance. Sit on your heels with the toes tucked in the fish posture. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulders together on your back. And push your chest forward, lifting it up and out of the lower back. Use your shoulder blades to push onto the back to help the chest open more. And then you can bring the arms back away from your body. Notice your breath as it comes in and out of your nose. If your breath has become choppy, just come back out of the pose a little bit. Find a place where you're at your edge, where you can still breathe gently through the nose. One more breath in and out of the nose. Gently release. Come forward, sitting onto your hips. Put the legs out in front of you. We're going to practice another pose. Put your right foot into your inner thigh. The heel can be all the way up against the pubic bone. First, we'll put the hands down on the floor beside the hips. If you can't do that exactly, you can put your hands onto your hips. From here, we're going to inhale to round the back. And exhale, arch the back. Shoulders that go out back and push forward. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch the back. Shoulders go back, chest lifts. Inhale, round, moving at your own pace. We're pushing the hands down to get tall on the exhale. Inhaling, we're staying tall, but we're rounding the whole back. The movement begins with the hips and then makes its way up the spine. Inhale as we round. Exhale, coming forward, arching the back, chest opens, getting tall. One more round of this. And the next time you arch your back, we'll stay right there. Push down your sits bones. Lift up, getting tall, extending all the way through the crown of your head. Breathe. Okay, now we're going to add a turn to this pose, putting the left hand out to the side on the floor. Lift the right arm up and open up to your right. And And now here we'll do some spine undulations. Inhale, round the back, the arm goes down. Exhale, arch, belly goes forward, chest goes forward, the arm lifts, the right shoulder goes back. Inhale, round. Exhale. Continue like this. Some of you will stay there. Some of you might like to deepen this pose a little bit. Put your left elbow on your left thigh. And continue the spine undulations. Inhale, round the back, beginning with the tailbone. Exhale, begin at the hips. The spine comes forward. We're opening up to the right. Continuing. Some of you might even put your arm on the floor. Wherever you are, take a couple more breaths. Okay, the next time you come up, we'll hold that in whichever version of the pose you're doing. Notice your breath. If you'd like to, then you can reach your right arm forward towards the front of the room, still bringing the right shoulder back, pushing your chest forward and lifting it up out of the lower back. On your next exhale, rise back up, release the pose, and we'll switch sides, putting your right leg out in front of you, and your left foot into the inner thigh. Hands down at the side or onto your hips. Inhale, round the back, chin to the chest. Exhale, belly forward, chest forward, shoulders back. Get tall. Inhale, round. Exhale, forward. On your own. Push the sits bones down. The shoulder blades will help your chest to push forward. See if you can allow the shoulders to go forward as you round. And bringing the shoulders back as you put the chest forward. Okay, the next time your chest comes forward, we'll hold here. Push down your sits bones. Shoulders back. Lengthen your spine, lifting up through the crown of your head, but pushing down through the sits bones. Allow your breath to gently come in through your nose and out through your nose. Next we'll put the right hand out to the right on the floor. Left arm lifts. Exhale into the pose. Push the chest forward. Lift it up. Inhale, round. Let the arm go down. Exhale, chest forward. Left shoulder goes back onto the back and pushes the chest forward. Exhale, gently. It's inhale as we round. Exhale as we push the chest forward. This may be a good place for you to stay, but if you'd like to go a little deeper, right elbow onto the thigh, and continue. Here we want to try not to bend too much at the waist. We want to bend at the hip here, keeping the integrity of the spine. So you can arch the back as you exhale. Inhale, round, chin to the chest. On the exhale, we don't need to arch the neck too much. Actually, not at all. Keep the neck straight. Keep the head lifted as you arch. Some of you may have your right arm on the floor. It's up to you. Allow your breath to tell you how deep to go into this pose. If the breath can be smooth, then you can go deeper into the pose. Keeping your left sits bone on the floor. Keeping both sits bones pushing down. On your next exhale, we'll hold the pose. Keeping your head lifted so that part of your spine remains straight. Notice your breath going in and out of the nose. The left shoulder's going back. It's on the back and it's helping. If you can use it to help you push your chest forward. And then some of you might, on your exhale, like to reach that left arm forward towards the front of the room. Keep your left ear lifted towards your armpit. Just breathing in the pose. On your exhale, lift up and out of this pose. Bring both legs forward. Put the bottoms of your feet together. And here we'll sit tall again, hands on the floor next to the hips or on the thighs. Push your sits bones down. Shoulders back and lift up, lengthening the spine, lengthen up through the crown of your head. On your exhale, we'll come forward, reach the hands forward, just as far as is comfortable. And then allow the head to drop Relax your arms. Continue to breathe through your nose. You might notice you can walk your hands a little further forward as you deepen into the pose. This pose will look different for everyone. Some people may not be very far forward, and that's okay. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. Take one more breath. And then we'll round the back to sit up. Use the abdominal strength. The head comes up last. Good. Next pose, make your way to hands and knees again. With your left knee directly underneath your left hip. Take the right foot straight out. We're doing half triangle pose. Left foot straight out from the hip. Excuse me, the right foot is. And then the left hand comes over to the right, to the left. And it's in alignment with the left knee and the right foot. You could come up onto a block or onto the tips, your fingertips. Now, I'm pushing my hips forward. And I'm going to reach up my right arm. And reach it out over to the left. I'm keeping my head lifted towards the armpit. My right shoulder is going back. And it's reaching over. My hips are pushing forward. Breathe in the pose. One more breath. On your exhale, reaching forward and release out of the pose. Hands down. The right knee comes back in. Put it down straight underneath the right hip. The left foot goes out to the left. The right hand comes over to the right. You want to have that right wrist under the right shoulder, pushing the hips forward. Left arm reaches up, and we reach it over to the right. Keep your head lifted towards your left armpit, protecting your neck. Your right hand could be up on fingertips or even on a block. Gaze at one spot on the floor or the wall. 2 more breaths in this pose. The left shoulder is going back. On your next exhale, gently reach forward, releasing out of the pose. Bringing the feet back down. Hips come to the floor. We'll bring both legs forward. Put the flesh of your sits bones off to the sides. Once again here, we're going to get tall and straight with the spine. First, let's inhale and round the back. Exhale, chest forward. Push the sits bones down, getting tall. Stay here. Pushing the hands down, pushing the sits bones down. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Shoulders back. And on your exhale, reach forward for a seated forward fold. Hands rest as you round the back, dropping the chin to the chest. For some of you, if you can bring your abdomen all the way to your thighs, go ahead and do that. We'll stay here for 5 more breaths. Notice how on your exhales you may deepen further into the pose. You can crawl your hands forward. On your exhale, vertebrae by vertebrae, round up. Strengthen the abdomen. Head comes up last. Good. Make your way now onto your knees. Standing up on the knees. We're going to do a half camel pose. An easy camel. Hands come to the lower back. So the fingertips are on the tops of the glutes. Tense your glutes. Gently push the hips forward. Lift your chest up. Bring it up out of the lower back, lengthening the spine like that. Keeping the glutes tense. Notice your breath. You need to ease off the pose a little bit to practice non-harm. It's better to practice an easier version of the pose than to go too far and cause harm. Exhale, release the pose. Sitting back. Bring your hips to one side. Make your way onto your side. We're going to do dragon pose. I'm putting my right elbow directly beneath the shoulder. And the wrist is coming straight out from my elbow. Now I'm going to relax. I'm going to let this right side drop down. Putting a stretch into my right side. My head is still lifted. My face is relaxed. And I gaze at one spot on the floor. As I feel the breath come in through my nose and out through my nose. Gently push yourselves up. And we'll make our way to the other side. Putting down the left elbow underneath, straight under the left shoulder. My left wrist is straight out from the elbow, palm face down on the floor. Resting the right arm on the body. And now I'm just letting my left side just relax down. You can let this shoulder kind of cave up towards the ear, but keeping the head lifted. Find one spot on the floor to gaze. And just feel the breath going into your body as you inhale and as you exhale, as it goes out of the body. We're going to add a face posture, the dragon face. For this, we're going to put up the tongue out, lift the eyebrows, and gaze up between your eyes, stretching the face up and lifting the chin down. Lift the eyebrows. Gaze up between the eyes. Reach the tongue down. Relax your face. Push up out of the pose. Bringing the legs forward. Step your left foot over to the right side of your right thigh. We're going to do a seated twist. First, once again, we'll get tall here. Push the sits bones down. Connect with the floor. Interlace fingers around the left knee. Use those arms to sit tall. Lifting the chest, but the shoulders go back and down. Now we'll add the twist. You can wrap your right arm around the left knee. The left arm comes back onto the floor behind you. I'm using this left shoulder to twist back. Keeping this left sits bone connected with the floor. Left shoulder back. Lift the chest. Gaze at one spot on the floor or wall. Observe your breath. Is your breath choppy? Then do a little bit more gentle version of the pose, maybe not twisting so far. There's no need to crank on your neck here. It's a very gentle twist for your neck and for your body. Take 2 more breaths. The left shoulder going back. Okay, on your next exhale, gently release the pose. Let's do this pose to the other side now. I'll be bringing my right foot over to the left side. Interlace the fingers on the knee. Here we could even round the back once. And then on your exhale, start at the hips, pushing forward, arch the back a little bit as you lift the chest and the shoulders go back. Both sits bones into the floor. We're going to keep that connection of the sits bones pushing down throughout this whole pose. And then as you continue to push down through the sits bones, the chest lifts and you grow up through the top of your head, lengthening the spine. We'll keep that length in the spine throughout this pose. Wrap your left arm around the right knee. Staying tall. Put the right hand down behind you, fingers pointed back. The right shoulder goes back onto the back. Notice if you lost the connection of the sits bones to the floor. You may have to release a little bit to come back. Just go as far as is comfortable, where you can have a comfortable pose. It's far more beneficial to do an easier version of the pose than to lose the integrity of the pose trying to go too far. Gaze at one spot. Three more breaths. Exhale to gently release. Now we'll practice a shoulder stand. Roll down one vertebrae at a time onto your back. Take a moment, let's rest here and feel what it's like to just have the spine resting on the floor. Okay, let's do a shoulder stand, turning the palms down into the floor. Lift your knees up onto your forehead and use your hands to support your back. You might just stay here. Otherwise, you can push the legs up, walking the elbows in and down the back. Gaze on your navel. Here, even some of you may be able to feel your shoulder blades. Use your shoulder blades to push onto your back, to actually open the chest, actually creating somewhat of an arch here. Do not allow your legs to go out over the top of your head. And don't go so far that you're giving yourself stress in the neck. Relax your face and your jaw. Take 2 more breaths. Slowly release down, knees to the forehead, vertebrae at a time, roll down. Turn the palms up again. Feel the effect of the pose. Bring your knees up into your chest. Put one hand on each knee, keeping your lower back on the floor. Pull the knees into your chest. Tuck your chin a little bit, so ideally the base of your skull is on the floor. While you're here, we'll make the rat's face by tensing all the muscles in your face. Squeeze everything together. Your chin, your cheekbones, your forehead. Squeeze it all together. You're still breathing. Release the face posture. And gently release the legs. Let's do one more pose to cool down. Put the arms straight out from the shoulders on the floor. Palms facing up. Lift your knees into your chest. And on your exhale, let the legs go to either side. Slowly. Letting the legs rest on the floor. And put your chin to the opposite shoulder. Gently. You can either close your eyes or gaze at one spot. Just try to relax the body here and let gravity open your chest or stretch your body wherever you feel it. a time, lift the legs back to the center. And on your exhale, slowly legs to the other side. Gaze out over the opposite hand. As you relax the shoulder, the chest will open more. Let the shoulder fall to the floor. Relax your legs. Return your chin to the center. One leg at a time, back up into your chest. Happy baby. Turn the feet towards the sky. Ankles above the knees. As you grab your feet however you can, however is comfortable, or grab your legs. Pull in your knees towards the armpits. Keep your lower back on the floor. Gently release. We'll take a final Savasana. If you need to put on a sweatshirt or get a blanket, this would be a good time to do that. And when you're ready, face the back of the room, whatever the back of the room is for you. And roll down one vertebrae at a time onto your back. Let the palms face up. Tuck your chin so that the base of your skull is on the floor. Make yourselves comfortable however you need to. We'll be here for about 10 more minutes. Lying on your back, take a moment to relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your hips, allowing your hips to melt into the floor. Relax your lower back and your abdomen. Relax your rib cage. Relax your chest and your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax your hands. All the way to the tips of your fingers. Relax your neck. Your throat. Relax the base of your skull. Relax your chin and your jaw. The back of your head. Relax your cheeks and your cheekbones, your mouth, your lips. Relax your nose and your eyes. And your eyebrows. Relax your forehead. Relax the top of your head. Take a moment now to relax completely. Begin to move your fingers and your toes. Beginning to move your body. When you